We live at Hard Cut Bully Kennels tonight. It's a rainy day at the camp, man. Today I want to talk about how to start as a breeder, uh, how to not have a lot of money and start as a breeder, man. Start breeding bullies early, man. And I'm gonna give you a scenario. There was two business types that I do. One is the bass, one is the catfish. Both of these are trophy fish. The bass is a trophy fish, but the catfish can get up to 600 pounds. So the bass eats off the top, the premium food. He can jump out of the water and get stuff. He's at the top eating all the premium. He's the top business people, or the bass. But the crumbs that fall through to the bottom can be grabbed by the catfish. And that's all he does is stay at the bottom and grab all the crumbs. And he's over 600 pounds sometimes. So in business, I like to go by the catfish bass scenario. Sometimes you can't beat a bass. At the present time, I'm a bass. I'm at the top. I got a platform and everything I need to make everything go. But if you don't have a platform yet, if you don't have the clientele yet, you got to start it as a catfish. So I would say the quickest way, the best way that I would do is get a female. And you can do it the cheapest with the female. If you do it with the male, you got to have an outstanding male. He's got to be attractive enough for people to want to stud to him, as there was no need of doing the male. He can be muscle bound. He can be a perfect structure, have perfect muscle and everything, but these people want colors and all that. So he had to have the right color and the right stamina. Everything has got to be perfect on the male, which is going to cost you a little bit more money. So you can be efficient to get the female, because you can go get a female that's black. You can find a litter with a black female that's got the right structure. And you can start with her. She'll be a little bit cheaper than buying a female that's Merle or, some pieball or any big thought. Because you get the black female, now it matters what male you run to. So the best thing for you to do is get the black female. Now down the line, when you need to go get a stud, you can do a pup back deal with the right person. So anyway, you get the female. If you get the female as a pup, you got about 1.5 years, 2 years to go. If you want to start right now, you got to go and get you an adult female. But that's hard to find, an adult black female. So look, take your time. If you're trying to do this efficiently, take your time, find a female for the right price with structure. She's not breed stock. There's no need even doing this. She's got to be the structure that you're looking for your vision. Look until you find that. All right. Once you find the female that you can start with, now you can buy her the best of food, take care of her. You can maybe even make her a house dog, but you can take care of her real close, buy her the best of foods and everything. Now, when it comes time to breed, to do it the cheapest way, you need to start going to a couple of these dog shows, looking at the internet, watching some social media. See if you can find the right stud with the right color and structure to go to your black female. And if you can find somebody at the shows that's just starting out. Find a guy at the show with the right stud and give him a pup back deal. That way you don't exchange any money, he doesn't exchange any money. You got the stud to start your first litter. He got a good pup out of that litter with his stud. Okay, so y'all are both doing the same thing. So go find the right stud to do a pup back deal with. I said the right stud. There's no need of going to get a pet quality stud. You have to get the right quality stud in order for this to work. And that gets you your first litter. Once you get that first litter, you got to be prepared for the C-sections and everything that comes with whelping that pup. So that may cost you a couple thousand maybe. But now you have a litter to work with, and you're off and going. If you have the clientele. So all the time that you were getting that female ready, you needed to be in your local places that's selling pups. You need to be everywhere that they'll let you sell pups. You need to be in that place. Every place that lets you walk around with the bully, walk around with the dog, you need to be walking around with your dog, showing up to people, letting them see a bully, all of that. You need to be building up your clientele, in other words, to get to that first litter. And it's going to take you past the first heat cycle, maybe the first heat cycle. So maybe about a year and a half, 2 years into it is when you'll be able to do it. Who do we got on here? I don't know if I can see my comments. Let me see where the comments is. You know what it is. We're trying to get everybody on. There we go. Live chat. We put it on like that. Top chat. But anyway, welcome to the camp. It's a rainy day at the camp, man. We out with the bullies. I got my girl Black Widow in here. She's one of the females that I started with. I didn't want to start. I wanted to start my camp, but I wanted to get going early. So even though I had other pups that I was raising, even though I had other pups that I was raising, I went on ahead and got an adult female to start the whole process with. And she ended up being the logo. That's what's on the Hard Cut Bully Kennels sweaters. Who that we got in here? Blurred Boy Bullies. What's good, man? We started with Black Widow, and she is a black female. I found her in an all exotic camp. She was short as all of the other dogs in the camp, but they wanted exotic and micros and all that. And she had a pit bull muzzle, so I didn't want her. So I was able to get her for a good price and start quickly. But I was already building the base up because I'd already bought King Creed and started doing little videos showing King Creed. That started by accident. I just put that video up because we went to a dog show in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Went to the BRC dog show, and we won first place. So I just wanted to I didn't really have social media, Facebook and any of that stuff anymore. So I just wanted the video to go out. So that's why I started the account to put that one video out. And people were interested in it, so it kind of grew from there, you know. But that's another thing, is starting out cheap. You don't have a platform yet. But just like the camp that just came on and said hi, you can interact with people that do have a platform and get your camp out there. That's part of it. You have to be social on social media. Being social on social media can get your camp out there. Liking the videos, commenting in the videos, can start to put your name on there. But I'll say that there's a couple people that do this to me and put their camp on there, and I'm not mad about it. Go ahead and do it. But have something for people to go to when they see your camp on there. Have your page up there right and everything going good, you know. And what boy say one, interact with people that have a platform, and that'll get you out there before you have a platform built up. Even if I was to take this platform and say I'm gonna start another channel just for bully puppies, I would interact on this one, say y'all check out this other channel. You know, that's how I would grow the other channel. So interact with camps that are aligned with what you're trying to do, and start putting your name out there on that. I mean, if you put the super chat button is like $2.99. I mean, this is promotion, is what we're talking about now. You got to promote your business. I mean, you want to go put your face on the front of a magazine cover, that's going to cost you about $20,000. If you want to do a rap song and have your single go out, I got papers that'll show you it costs millions to promote a gold album. I got papers that'll show you that. So it costs money to promote anything. So I'm showing you a cheap way to do it. Them little super stickers on the TikTok and the YouTube, you can pay that puts your brand out there for $2.99 on somebody that might have 100,000 followers. So when you comment, that gets shown. So comment on the videos. That starts to put you into the whole realm of the situation anyway. I tell everybody, if you want to get into something, whatever you into, get into it. Get into what you're into. If you're in the bullies, you're going to have to start listening to some bully people. You're going to have to start being in the bully community, start being around that to really know what you got going on. Whenever you get to any level, you got to orientate yourself to the new level. So that's what I would say. Now, if you wanted to start with a male, it can be done with a male too. And it can be done earlier because a male only needs to be about 10 months old. The ABKC does not want any puppies on the ground from a dog that's less than a year old. It takes 2 months for the dogs to have puppies. So he could actually start breeding at 10, 11 months. Whereas the female is going to take you a year and a half, 2 years. The drawback to starting with the male is he's got to be a stud among studs. He got to be a stallion. So you're gonna have to go get one that's got some color that people like. You gotta pay for that. You gotta pay for the, it needs to be a pieball or something. You gotta be something that's extra. On top of, he's got to have perfect structure. He's a stud. He's not just breed stock, he's a stud. To stud out to other people's farms. He gotta have perfect structure. So he's got to have perfect structure. He's got to have some color in it. He can't have floppy ears if he's going to be a stud. Now, some people prefer that your dogs have floppy ears because they don't want people to cut your ears and everything. Those people are far and in between. To compete with the look of the next dog, to compete with King Creed, you need to have your ears cropped. Because they're not going to, if they see your picture, our picture, your picture, they're going to take the ones that look more, more of a bully look, and that's the bully look. It's the cropped ears. It's part of the bully deal. This bully deal was started for looks, and that's one of the looks. You can have floppy ears. It's not banned. I'm just saying if you want a stud. With females, it's optional at all times for me. If you got a female, you don't have to crop her. I don't have to crop my female's ears. This hard cut. This is how they look. This is how we do. But if you want a stud, he's got to have cropped ears because he's got to compete with the other studs. So starting with the stud, you're gonna have to crop his ears. He's gonna have to be a really good color. He could be blue, like Bo was blue fawn. But if he's just blue, if he's just black, it's hard to compete with the other studs out there and really make any traction. On top of that, he needs to be embark tested if it's a stud. You got to go get him embark tested so they can see all his genes. He can come back 100% American Bully on the genes. You can show any health risk that he has. You can show he doesn't have any. And you can show what his size and weight and everything, the genetics say it's supposed to be. You'll be able to break down your dog. That's how you have a stud. What's good with you, Sean Swade in the building, man? That's when you have a stud, man. When you have a stud, he's already certified and all ready to go. Now, depending on what registry you started that stud in, he needs to be able to breed to other registries. So in other words, if he was under the UBR, he can't just go to the ABKC. He's got to get registered under ABKC too. So now he can breed with all the ABKC females. Whatever registry he's under, if he's under the ABKC, that's the registry that he can breed to. Now you come across somebody that's in the UKC, yes, the UKC recognizes the ABKC, the ABKC recognizes the UKC, but you need to go get those papers. So your stud has to have not just one registry, he needs to have multiple registries so that he can breed to multiple registries because he's a stud. Now, the quickest way to do that is while you're out at the shows doing your homework like you should be anyway. Whatever show that you go to is sponsored by a registry or whatever. So say you went to the BRC show. If you went to the BRC show in Stillwater, we went to the BRC show in Stillwater with King Creed. He was under the ABKC. We have ABKC paperwork. He does not have BRC paperwork, but it was a BRC show. They were there. They looked at him, seen that he was bullied as it is, and seen his paperwork, registered him on the spot. So now he was double registered. He was ABKC and BRC registered. We went on, won the show. So now he got a blue ribbon from the BRC. And then about a week later, I got paperwork from the BRC for his registration. So he had the blue ribbon from BRC, paperwork from the BRC, and paperwork from the ABKC. He was double registered just because I went to that show. So if you can get your dog in the show, if you can get to the judge, to the registrar at the show, you can get your dog certified for about $25. But even if you don't, you can do it online, or you can do it through the mail. But the point is, unlike the female, the male needs to be registered through a few different registries in order to be able to work with a few different registries. Just look for the top one, depending on what you are. If you exotic, ABKC is really not the top one for you if you're exotic. It's other ones, like the BRC and the UKC probably. There's other ones that you need to have. UKC and ABKC pretty much go back and forth, but you have to do that paperwork. You got to send them $40 is what I'm telling you. You got to deal with each registry and get them to certify your dog. Now that he's certified in those registries, he can mate with any of the females in there. So what you don't want to happen is somebody calling you, they ready to go, they okay with all the terms of everything, but you in the wrong registry. Now they gotta wait for you to get registered. It probably is not gonna happen. It's already hard to get the stuff, so if they're not gonna wait for that. They can't afford to wait. They have a window. Every 6 months she goes in heat. So that's the next thing. If you're gonna have a stud, let's start that. The next thing is, if you're gonna start with a stud, is you got to be prompt and you got to be on time to do the stud work. Couple bad people, couple times that people was unhappy with you the way you did it, and you might be out of business that quick. So if it's time, it's time. They only go in heat every 6 months. So this guy's been waiting for her second heat. So he done had the dog 2 years. When you come around and you're supposed to be ready, he want to deal with you to get it done. If you're not ready, he can't deal with you. He got to move on to the next person. And the quickest way you can not be ready is not be registered. You're like, well, I got a bully. Well, but it's not in the right registry. It's rules to this. If you want to have a stud. And you have to be prompt. If we supposed to meet 8 o'clock at the veterinarian, be there at 7:45. Don't be there at 8:15. Be there at 7:45. Be on time. Send a deposit on time. He needs you to ship the semen out. Get up right then. Go to the veterinarian. As soon as this deal is done, go to the vet right then. Have the semen pool. Ship it out to him. Be on time. That's what you have to be. to do studs. If you lackadaisical with your work effort, if you lackadaisical with your work effort, then it ain't gonna work. You ain't gonna be able to do studs. So it's the whole breed is based on what you first gotta understand. The whole breed is based on looks. It wasn't based on health. But you as the breeder say what breed stock is. So you start out with a great stud, people will want to come to you so that they can make a great bully. And I just gave you the ingredients for a great stud. Perfect structure. And some color. Some piebald. We got the tick gene that's real blotchy. Have something. We got all white sleeves up to the, have something. White chest. Have something that sets your stud out. He can't just be blue or black because nobody's gonna need to breed to him. Now there's people that have merles. Now me personally, I can keep a black male because I have all these females that I can go to. And then there's people that have merles that might want to do it because I can bring them along right. But I'm telling you, if you want to start with one stud, don't do that. Get you a domino. If you have one stud and you got my dog Domino, you gonna make some money. If I didn't have nothing else to do but promote Domino, I would make money. He got the color, he's got the size, he's got the structure, he's got the temperament, he's got the registration, he's got the inboard testing. He's ready to go. So that's what you got. There it is in a nutshell. You got to find you a domino, somebody that a bully that's that complete, and then you can start with a stud. He can't just be okay. And then even when you do that, you gotta crop his ears, keep him a good collar. You know, I got a black wheel down. We got my collar, but you gotta have the right collars when you walk him around. All of that, man. If you want to start with a stud, and be out there, get out there to the community. Just go to the registration boards that you own. Go to the ABKC and see where the shows are at. Or just watch this Instagram and Facebook stuff. You'll see it all the time. These people are doing shows all the time. Me personally, I'm not going to shows. You know, I'm not in the shows right now. I got too much that I got going to really, for one, condition my dogs for the show ring. That's one thing. But even to have the travel time to go, I don't have time for that, man. And I got things to do other than that. You got some beautiful dogs. Definitely come see when I'm ready. That's what's up. Blood Boy Bullies. He said they gotta be immaculate. If you want a stud, you gotta be immaculate. That's why I'm trying to tell you. Start with a female, and I'm trying to tell you how to get a female for the cheap price. Is she doesn't have to have that much color, but she has to have great structure, and you can find that. But the boy, he got to be the one. You watch these channels, and they telling you all this about what you can make $100,000 with a stud and all this, man. I mean, yeah, anything is possible. But he has to be immaculate. That's the word I was looking for, man. He got to be the one. He can't be trying to be the one. He got to be the one. You understand me? So the cheapest thing to do to start with a female. Now, when you start with that female, you only got 4 times the breeder. If your C-section costs $1,000, that's $4,000 that you know you got to spend. And whatever the female costs, say she costs $2,500 to $3,500, so that's $6,500. You done $6,500 to $7,000. You done spent already with the female and just having a female through the time. But you've had litters, you know. throughout that. So you got a chance to go and get the perfect stud that you want to go to your female. And like I said, you can go to a show and find somebody come up and get a pup deal. Some people, I got a 2-year deal with my Domino. Now, I got a 2-year deal with Domino for $700. I got a 2-year deal with all Hard Cut Bully studs for $750. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. Then you're gonna have at least a Domino in there, if not a few of them. And now you in business to do stud stuff later, you know. You can create your stud, is what I'm saying. Take your time and look for him. He got to be immaculate. I'm trying to think of a stud horse name that will bring, but I keep thinking Secretary, that's not a boy. He got to be the one, though. He got to be the one. At least a lot of people got to believe he's the one. And then you got to promote it through all forms of social media. You are your dog's agent, manager, promoter, and publicist and stylist. Yeah. That's why it costs so much to promote an album, because you got to have all them people. You got to pay them people to be on retainer. Agent, manager, promoter, publicist, and stylist. That's what you are to your bully. So if he ain't getting no gigs, you ain't being a good manager. You ain't a good agent. You're not. You need to go sit down with the promoter yourself and say, man, we doing good over here, but we ain't doing good over here. Y'all need to, if you're not going to do that, you got to have somebody that will do that. Serious business. You got to have those positions. Agent, manager, promoter, stylist, publicist. I tell people all the time, you can have a hit record, but you're not going to get on that red carpet if you ain't got a publicist. And that's about $2,000, $2,500 a month to just keep her on retainer. Just if she ain't did nothing, you got to keep her there. You might have to send a press release out in the middle of the night. So you got to pay that just to keep her on retainer. But you ain't going to get on that red carpet unless you got her. But that's neither here nor there. You got to promote your bully, man. You got to have clientele. So with that being said, that could be a way to look at it. You could wait and do that. You could just wait and because that'll give you time to build a clientele before you have puppies. A lot of people know you if you get the right stud. Eventually, this is Hard Cut Bully Kennels, and I did all this work for Hard Cut Bully Kennels, and I'm putting all this everywhere around. But eventually, one of these studs will we take over the name, and y'all won't know Hard Cut Bully Kennels. Eventually, you know just the stud. That's what happens. You got it line and Dax, but that's the same thing. But Dax just became that big. Sooner or later, the stud will take over. That's how great that stud got to be. You got to be great enough to do line breeding off of for your whole camp, and everybody else is gone. Yeah. Anybody got any questions? Man, I don't know who we got left on here, man. If you got a camp, shout your camp out, man. Let everybody know what camp you're from. Everybody check out www.hardcutbully.com. Scroll down to the puppy waiting list. You can click on the puppy list and fill that out if you want to get on the get a puppy. I will send you an invoice. I have about 3 people that I have not contacted today, but it's Saturday, y'all. Give me a minute. I'm gonna shoot it right out to you. But get on the puppy waiting list. Within 48 hours, I'll send something out to you. You pay that $50 deposit, and you are on the list for the next pups. If you don't on that list, it's gonna be hard because they're going quick. I'm not really doing it unless we have a list. So www.hardcutbully.com, check it out, man. Get on the list. That's another thing you need if you're gonna be a breeder. Let me go back into it. I thought I was finna end it, but let me go on back into it. If you're gonna be a breeder quick, you not only need the social media, you need a website. Say that again. I missed your comment. If you're gonna do it, you need to have a website, a working website. This one said, you said 4 births per female. How many puppies you usually get per birth? Anywhere from 6 to 8 is normal. You know, if you come home with 7 healthy bullies, you did good. I got a girl, Black Pearl, that she's never had more than 4. This is her 3rd pregnancy now. If she didn't have more than 4, I don't know if I'm gonna breed her again, but she had great pups though, I will say that. Big Shirley came from her. But on the average, it's about 6 to 8 pups per litter. So if you did a pup back deal, you know, you got 5. That's a good start. But back to the website, you got to have a good website, man, a good working website with price list, breakdown, not just price list, breakdown, puppy list, all that stuff you're selling, but a history of the American Bully. You know, give them background of it, pictures, you know, information about the breed that you are into. Just like if you went to a Cocker Spaniel website or American Poodle website, you could go in there and see what the whole breed is about. We getting there on our website. Our website is pretty good, man. But I'm gonna put a little bit more history. We don't have history. We just have a breakdown of the breed. But you need all that functional website. Without that, my business is pretty shot. I really don't have anywhere to send you to get in contact with me. I have to constantly be on social media to get anything done. So the website is working when everybody's asleep. So you got to have that. And that costs money. Just like the publishers cost money to retain, website costs money to retain the website. So we went through a bunch today. We went through starting with a stud, starting with a female, being a promoter, agent, publicist, stylist, manager for your dog, the looks that you need, the structure you need. If you don't know structure, you gotta go find out structure before you do this. You gotta know what a flaw is. You gotta know what an underbite is, what an overbite is, what a kink tail is, what easty-westy feet is, what cowhawk is. You gotta know this so that you can pick the right stud to start with. I got a series, a 5-part series on every American Bully stud, break, everything that you can think of. I mean, that you don't think of. It's there. It's broke down with the pictures that'll show you this is what you can't have, this is the correct. And then you'll know what flaws are. Once you know what flaws are, you stay under 2 flaws. But what I'm saying with a stud, if you want to start with a stud, man, you really need no flaws. It needs to be immaculate, like my boy said. So starting immaculate with a stud, starting with a female with less color might get you a cheaper price, but she's got to have structure that's immaculate too. She's got to be part of the look for what you're trying to do. She's 65% of your male genes. So she needs to be what you want your program to be. You need to know what class you want to breed too. I could go on and on. I was going to get off of it. You need to know what class you want to have, what class you're going to start with. If you can't have, if you're going to start with an XL stud, man, I mean, that kind of, you really can't go get another XL. It's a lot of things you can't do from there. You got to know what class is for your lifestyle and for the setup that you have. Now, we haven't even talked about kennel setup because we talked about one dog. And I was trying to tell you the cheapest way to get started. The cheapest way to get started is with one dog. And if you got to choose, which one do you want? I gave you a breakdown of both. But when you get more than one dog, you start to get into kennel expense. And that's a whole different monster. Because you want your dogs as comfortable as possible. With one dog, you can keep them as a house dog, especially if it's your stud or your main female. You keep that as your house dog. If it's the one that you have invested all this money into. So I hope I answered that question through 4 births for female. You get 4 births per female. Why? They doing C-section on them. After each birth, they're having a C-section. To have each birth, they're having a C-section, and they got to get sewed back up. You don't want to do that more than 4 times. They're not going to do it more than 4 times. When I go to my veterinarian to get it done, if he say that's it after 2 times, I'm done. It's really his call with that. But it's my call too. But I asked, where are we at with that? Because she got another time that she can go, but I'm really thinking maybe stop now, and the vet will be, oh no, she's fine, go ahead and go. And I'm okay. But 4 times for C-section. Why do you need C-sections? Because they have water babies. They have water puppies. A puppy that's 3 times the size of a normal puppy is full of nothing but fluid. 90% of the time it's at the front of the canal. So the first puppy. And since it's 3 times the size, she can't birth it. And it jams up the whole process, and it could kill her and all those puppies. And I've had that emergency. So that I've had an emergency, had to go up there and get that done. Because she went in labor in the middle of the night. I got to go up there and get that done. The C-section costs $1,000. The emergency C-section is a little bit more. So time it out right. If you got the female, you got to time out the time that she goes. The first time that you bred her, so whether it was a natural lock or an insemination, either or, you got to time that in and know exactly the day to go get that test done to get her C-section. They're not just going to do a C-section because you think it's time. She has to be a certain number on the reverse progesterone test before they'll do the C-section. That costs money. So there's money there's money with both sides, the female and the male. But just you may not know how to start with a male because you don't know how to pick a male yet. You're going to have to learn flaws. You're going to have to learn what flaws are in breeding for your registry. And this is a young registry. It is changing. You have to be, but you're responsible for that. I'm responsible for that. So have your vision, understand what the flaws are, pick good breed stock. That's as simple as I can say it. If you don't pick good breed stock, you're not going to have good stock come out. And you're not going to make any money. Nobody's going to want your stud. If you producing dogs that nobody likes, they ain't going to want your studs. That's just what it is. Yeah, man. So we've been on here about 30. Anybody else got any questions, man? Anybody got questions about starting cheap as a breeder? If not, we're going to get on out of here, man. Get back to the day. But everybody else, man, y'all come on off the bench for the big win. Get you something hard cut. It's on.